Hi, and welcome to Tony's Cool Tools. If it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. Today, if you haven't guessed, we're going to be talking about kindling. There are several ways of making kindling. I'll show you a couple of them, as well as a new product, or not very new, but new to a lot of people, that makes your job a whole lot easier. For personal use, when I'm making kindling, I either use the Fiskars X27 to get my splits down smaller. Unfortunately, when I get them smaller, you really need to be an expert to get them down to the kindling size. So then I switch to the Fiskars X11. Same design with the wedge, the proprietary wedge on it, but it's smaller. The problem here is your hand comes close in contact with the wood in a lot of cases. So when you're making smaller splits, you have to recognize where your hand is and be careful. Here it is. This product is called a Kindling Cutter, and as you can tell, it is pretty hefty. Before I go in and give information on this, I wanted to thank Dick, one of you viewers, who had contacted Chris at In the Woodyard and had us stop out at his property. He has about 100 or so acres here in central Wisconsin, and he's doing prairie restoration. And this happens to be Dick's tool that he had purchased, and I really liked it and have a lot of history with this prior to seeing it, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But this is the XL model. There are two different versions of this. This particular one is 9-inch diameter, can fit in here, and is 17 inches tall. It weighs 21 pounds. The smaller version is the standard version, I should say, is 6.5 inches in diameter and 12 inches tall. Both are cast iron. Both are made in Austria in their foundries there. Very, very good quality product here when you see it. It also has a 5-year warranty on it. I don't know how you're going to break it, but take it for what it is. It's 5 years. That's pretty substantial nowadays. The instructions for the standard model tell you to use a 3-pound sledge. Dick and I have both tried this, and the 4-pound really works well on this, and I will show a demo here momentarily. But a 4-pounder, if you can handle it, works great. However, if you're a person of smaller stature, the 3-pound will work just as good. A little bit of back history on this particular tool is it was introduced in the US market in 2013. When I was working for Fiskars, one of my customers, Northern Tool and Equipment, was the exclusive importer of this tool. And it's kind of interesting how this tool was developed. Like the old saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Well, the inventor of this was a 13-year-old girl named Ayla Hutchinson. She lives in Austria, and the reason she developed this was she saw her mother cut herself with a hatchet while doing kindling. So as a science project for her school, she designed this tool, and it's been awarded multiple accolades for something super, super simple like this. But when you look at the tool, it really is substantial and designed well. Just a little bit of a close-up so you can see the design of this. That is extremely sharp on that tip. And the way it bevels outward, it just sends the wood sailing. Let's demo this now. We're going to go from the softest to the hardest. I have some ash, some cherry, some oak, and some hickory. And I'll show you how this works. We'll go ahead and start out with our 3-pound hammer on the softer stuff. Super, super easy. Put it in here. As you can see, you've got to follow the grain too. Flip it around the other side. It really is super easy. All right, we'll go to the next one, which is the cherry. That's pretty soft as well, so we'll still use the 3-pound hammer. There's a lot of control with this, and your hand never gets near the blade. And you have control over how thick you want this to be as well. Which is pretty nice. Well, if I would hit it square on, it might split. Now we'll switch to the 4-pound hammer and go with the oak. And naturally, when you're picking out kindling or types of wood, you want to get something as much straight grain as you can. It really only takes one good blow if you're hitting it right. All right, let's switch now to the hickory, the hardest stuff that I have. And I probably wouldn't be making kindling, but just wanted to show you how it works. This particular one has a knot. And what I found is, if you get a piece of wood with a knot, it potentially will bounce back to you. And that piece you don't want to use. But we'll give this a try just to show you in a demonstration what could happen. Still went through. A little tougher, but it still worked. See what I mean about bouncing? But it's still, if you hit it square enough, very stringy. Here's another piece of hickory. So as you can see, works pretty doggone nice. I'll show you one last thing. Now, I'm probably not going to be using a 9-inch diameter piece of wood in here. Otherwise, I'd have to use my sledgehammer. But I've got something here that's probably around 5 inches. It's been sitting in my wood pile for about 6 months, so it's semi-dry. It does work, but it takes more effort. But now when you get it into the smaller pieces, you can easily split that quickly. One other advantage of this is typically when I'm splitting, I have to be outside on a stump somewhere doing this. But with this particular unit, I can bring it to my garage, have a bunch of blanks or logs that I bring inside, and cut it at my leisure in the garage or in the pole barn. Makes it a lot simpler and more comfortable. And I could do it much quicker too. Lastly, here's one of Tony's tips, and that is use your tire that you have that you've been splitting for years with. And I'll show you this. Falls right inside, so you don't have to bend over as much. Super, super easy. There you go. Oops, I almost forgot. Everyone's going to want to know how much. The XL is $129 and the standard unit is $80. I'll have links in the info section where you can purchase these. Well, let me know what you think of the Kindling Cutter. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, pass it forward. Make the world a better place. And don't be a tool. Watch Tony's Cool Tools. Thanks.